The Prahova Valley is Romania's #1 ski destination. Okay, there might not be the same number of slopes as in the Alps, but it's the cheapest place to ski in Europe. Where there's snow, there's also a multitude of other exciting winter sports. If you find the slopes are a little slow for your level of experience, then why not head downhill on a bobsled? This run is 1,500 metres long, and although it might not be the safest in the world, at 70 miles an hour, it's all over pretty quickly. When the snow melts, the landscape changes, and so do the activities. Where there were once skiers, there are now plenty of climbers, bikers and hikers.
Romania has the highest concentration of carnivores in the whole of Europe. Some 4,000 bears and some 2,500 wolves are reputed to be wandering around the mountains and the woods. Now, it's a bit of a myth to think that, you know, if you came over for a week or so that you'd bump into one. But if you were to buy a home here and spend some time, you know, who knows, maybe one day you come face to face with a grizzly.
No bears or wolves were hurt in the shooting of this sequence. Having escaped the strange bear noises, it was time to get on the road again, and in the Prahova Valley, one of the best ways to get into uncharted territory is the safe space of a 4x4.
Well, Jackie, the reason why we're in this 4x4 is because out of the Prahova Valley, Romania is a huge country, okay? And the only way, really, to see the real Romania is get off the beaten track, leave your tourist map behind, and do something like this. You will see scenery that I don't have the vocab to describe. It's absolutely breathtaking.
Meanwhile, Alan is being whisked deep into the valley to a vineyard where they make 250,000 litres of very posh sparkling wine every year. Obviously a favourite tipple of the Prahova Valley region.
So here we are, only 15 kilometres away from the ski lift, and we're standing in the middle of one of the big wineries that make champagne in the Prahova Valley. They actually grow the grapes 60 kilometres down the valley and bring them up here. And these barrels are the beginning of the process.
So I suppose this is a lot smaller than your cellar back home.
No, about the same size, but mine's full of Scotch. Here, we're in a wine-making region. Make wine here because it's got a microclimate exactly the same as Bordeaux and Tuscany. Both great wine-making regions. But here, it's making champagne. And what we're looking at here is the bottles on a tilt, so the sediment slides down the bottle. And these ladies here are cleverly twisting the bottles so the sediment falls down.
One of the selling points of Prahova Valley is the fact that it's on the doorstep of Transylvania, where the country reaches out to some incredible scenery and some incredible myths.
Right, Jackie, leap out because I want a little chat with you just here about that rather extraordinary building. Now, it's not for you, it's not on the market, because that is the reputed home of Dracul himself. Holding that back. Now, the thing is, it's a bit of a myth, because Dracul never lived here. He popped in once or twice, but never, ever resided in that building.
Right.
So, the tourist board needed somewhere accessible for tourists where they could keep the myth alive. And that's kind of the visual cliche you'd expect, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's working because over 500,000 tourists are coming to visit this every year, which means, because we're out just slightly off the Prahova Valley, where you are looking for properties, great rental potential.
Excellent.
Onwards and upwards.
There you go. You can do the pouring, Alan. Do you know, did you think you'd be standing in these sumptuous surroundings this morning drinking the Romanian equivalent of French champagne?
I wouldn't have dreamed it yesterday.
Do you know, but a lot of people are finding out. This winery alone has 3,500 tourists visiting it every year. And the other thing I find amazing is that this vineyard is actually owned by an Englishman, not a Romanian, who, like you, has seen the potential in Romania and has bought in here early to catch the big up. Worth trying, I think, Al.
Back on the road, and a horrible realisation dawned that Nigel and Alan were polishing off all that sparkling wine. Well, there's no time to waste. If they get all squiffy, they're not going to be able to appreciate the stunning location of property number 2. And when it comes to stunning locations, you don't get much more stunning than this. Built in 1940 and situated in the small resort town of Bușteni, the house is on the opposite side of the valley to the ski lifts, but it boasts the better view, or at least it would do if it wasn't for the weather. So let's get into this two-storey house and out of the cold. How cold? Well, this bird wishes he'd stayed south for another month, I bet. Anyway, there's a conservatory upstairs which leads to what would have been the kitchen. The master bedroom has an ensuite and there's another bathroom for the guests. The traditional glazed corridor has spectacular views of a tin roof. Downstairs is fashioned with some stylish cladding. There's another bathroom and 2 living rooms. Looks like the owners took everything but the sink in this kitchen.
Oh, this is nice.
Interesting entranceway. Almost shallows.
This is really cool. Oh, wow, what's this? I like this. It's got lots of little nooks and crannies and stuff.
Somebody built this great big chalet in the way.
Shame. But still, I mean, you've still got a pretty good view.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that's a jacuzzi? No, this would all have to be ripped out. It's horrible.
It is appalling.
But it's a good enough size. You can obviously have a bath in it, so on the positive side. Oh my goodness gracious me. I'm at home already. What do you reckon?
At least it's furnished. So there's a little less work that we'd have to do.
It's true. I like these stairs. I think they're a really nice feature.
Yeah, the double set of stairs.
Whitewashed and filled. I reckon they'd look really cute.
And the top of the house is completely separate from the bottom, isn't it?
I'm trashing the place. Is it snowing? It is, isn't it? It's kind of cool.
But this is huge.
It looks like someone's been living in here.
It does indeed.
I need to ask you now, Nigel, can you manage if I was to leave you?
I think I can manage better without you.
Is that so? Because I'm thinking about going checking some Romanian culture.
Interesting, if you get any culture in your life, you go,
I'm
I'll
going to
stay.
try, and it's not because I'm cold, all right? I'm freezing!
So believable.
Just abysmal.
A bit of a shame.
Something positive there? Something really nice thinking there? Nice thoughts?
I'm thinking
good
lovely
thoughts?
view, foul roof.
No, positive. Think positives only. Where are we now? What are we standing in?
Downstairs.
No, we're standing in a self-contained flat. We're standing in
It's true.
something that could be let completely separately, have your own quarters upstairs, big three rooms up there, and down here you've got an income earner.
True, very true.
And you're worried about the view? What are you got to worry about? You've got 2,000 metres of mountain up there. You can't see it today, but it's up there.
Well, it's fair to say that the roof does hinder the outlook, but the real selling point is that next door to the house is an area of land that will never be built on, as this is designated parkland. In order to escape the cold and find out more about life here, we've decided to head along the valley, and just 20 miles further up the road, the clouds have disappeared and the sun is out.
Now, if Alan and Jackie were to buy a house here in the Prahova Valley, their life would be very different from their London existence, right down to the simplest of things. If you're feeling homesick and you're missing a Sunday roast, you could come into a village like this, negotiate with the locals and get yourself a live chicken, or that cockerel, for under £1. But the thing is, with the British mentality, you just know it's going to end up as your pet. If you're looking for a comfortable compromise to slaughtering your livestock, well, like back at home, they have the corner shop. A little bit more rustic than what we're used to, but it's still open 8 till late. Now, half the store is given over to animal feed for pigs, chickens and horses, but human consumption is dealt with over here, a fine selection of groceries. Now, herbs here, look at this big bunch of dill. A little bit tired, but organic. Huge bunch, 15 pence. How cheap is that? And then what every vampire wants to find in his stocking, a great big string of garlic, 40 pence. How shocking is that?
Back at the house, there are concerns about the cost of all the renovation works, but hey, stop! Remember where you are.
We're in Romania. A labourer. Going to cost you what? 80, 100 pounds in England a day?
Easy, yeah.
£5. Yeah,
Beautiful.
£5. Electrician, now they're expensive, really expensive. 180, maybe 200 pounds a day in England. Here, as much as 20 pounds. So, like when you start thinking about skilled men at 20 pounds, labourers at 5 pounds, materials half the cost they are in the UK.
No, it sounds all of a sudden it sounds achievable.
Achievable? This is
Easy.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
dead easy.
But not everything in the Prahova Valley is in the middle of nowhere. This convenience store is conveniently located with the catchy title of Wolf, and I'm assured it sells regular groceries. That's what I've been told. Now, you'd expect a supermarket of this size to have a gargantuan amount of fresh fruit and vegetables, but actually, it's disappointingly limited, and that is because you're expected to grow your own.